I purchased my Yamaha R6 approximately 4 or 5 months ago, but I've been waiting for this day for a long time because finally I went to the track and finally I know what this motorcycle is capable of. I brought it to its natural territory, the racetrack. I squeezed every single ounce out of this motorcycle and I am not disappointed at all. So, in this road and track review, we're going to be talking about how it handles on the road and how it handles on the track. The thing which I love most about this motorcycle is the fact that it revs to 16,000 RPM. At 16,000 RPM, with the right exhaust as I have, it sounds like an F1 car, and I absolutely love that. For the street, it's a ton of fun, and on top of that, when you add a quick shifter, it just becomes a whole lot better. When I initially got the motorcycle, the power delivery wasn't as smooth as it is now, but now the throttle response is a lot more smoother. It's not jerky as it used to be. 1,000 RPM all the way to 16,000 RPM, there's continuous power, there's no flat spots. Now I think it's a perfect motorcycle, and not only is it a lot faster than it was before, but now it also weighs a whole lot less. And to me, it's the perfect 600 super sport motorcycle that you can buy in the market at the current moment. When I purchased the R6, I knew what my goal was for it: to make it sound good, to make it handle well, lighten it up, and also add a quick shifter so this way I can take it on the track and rip it as fast as I could. So here we are today. The quick shifter on this motorcycle is ultra smooth, butter smooth, rivaling some of the quick shifters that you would get in very, very expensive motorcycles. So currently I have this motorcycle set up for GP shift, and at the track I found it to be very, very easy and very exciting to ride. To get on the brakes, to downshift, to exit out of the corner into the next one. There's a lot of work involved, but when you add the quick shifter, it makes everything seamless and simple. Now let's admit, this motorcycle is not exactly a comfortable motorcycle to ride on the street, but that's not what this motorcycle was designed for. So if you're buying this motorcycle specifically to ride on the street, to ride back and forth to work, well, I'm not really sure if you're going to be that comfortable riding it, but I occasionally ride it on the street, but I also track the bike. So for me, with its dual purpose capabilities, I think it's well worth purchasing. So that's something that you have to decide for yourself. But as far as road mannerisms are concerned, it's great for the road. I mean, it's not that heavy. It is a very, very aggressive position, but at the same time, I added the quick shifter, and the quick shifter makes it a lot better for going in between lights, so you don't have to shift a lot with your clutch. Even though the clutch on this is not exactly that heavy, shifting with the quick shifter makes it a lot enjoyable for street riding. So now let's talk about how it handles on the track, because that's what this motorcycle is designed to do. So at the track, I found that this motorcycle is very, very confidence inspiring. It's a very exciting motorcycle to ride because I kept it somewhere around the 12,000 RPM range whenever I was in the straights. But out in the straights, after every single turn, I was wide open throttle. And hearing this motorcycle scream to the top of its lungs at 16,000 RPM is something that I can't really explain. I knew that an ECU tune was an absolute necessity with this motorcycle. So whenever I put on the ECU, I realized right away, not only did the power increase, but it was a lot smoother, and the entire rev range had power, as opposed to before. Power stopped somewhere around 6,000 RPM and then continued after 10,000 RPM. But with the ECU upgrade, that wasn't the case anymore because now I have power throughout the rev range. And when I was at the track, this was absolutely perfect for me because I overtook motorcycles that were twice as powerful as this. I was passing motorcycles that were S1000RRs, Ducatis, leader bike class motorcycles, and it was almost as if they were standing still. I found that the brakes were quite adequate for what I needed. On the straights of Willow Springs, I hit 150 miles an hour, and I was grabbing the brakes with only 2 fingers, and it had plenty of more to go. So I didn't feel like it was lacking on the brakes. As far as the suspension is concerned, I'm really happy that I had the suspension too, not once but twice. But at the track, I had plenty of confidence riding this bike. In and out of the corners, it is very, very flickable. I felt like the bike had a lot more to go, but it was me that was slowing it down. So I'm sure a person who's got a lot more ability than I do can do a lot better with this motorcycle. But phenomenal motorcycle, and I loved every second of it. So as a result of all that confidence the motorcycle gave me, I did have a few close calls. On the straight, I was doing about 150 miles an hour according to my speedo. I wanted to pass as many people as I could because I noticed that there was like at least 5 or 6 people right there. So I braked as late as possible and I was on the gas for as long as I could. And it was this S1000 right in front of me. And I came very, very close to the guy, but at the same time, I was very much in control of the situation. But you as an onlooker who's just watching the video for the first time, it might be a butt pucker moment, but I knew exactly what I was getting into. There was also another close call where I was riding the motorcycle, once again, very, very confidence inspired. I braked as late as I could and I lost a little bit of the back end. It wiggled out on me and I went straight into the dirt. And at that point, I realized that it was the end of my track day and that I should stop. So that's a tip I have for you guys. If you ever do a track day event and you start to get tired and you start making mistakes, that should probably be the last session that you have, and it's probably time to pack up and go, because after that, it's all downhill. So the motto for me is quit while you're still ahead. But now that I've taken it to the track, I've realized that it needs one thing, and I completely glossed over this one thing, and I should have done this a long time ago, and that is adding a stabilizer to the steering wheel. Coming out of turn 6 and going into the straight where I typically hit about 150 miles an hour, wide open throttle, The bike had speed wobble or tank slapper, whichever you want to call it. Tank slapper sounds a lot more scarier than speed wobble. So let's just say a tank slapper. And it scared the shit out of me. I let go of the throttle and it pretty much stabilized itself. And then I was back on the throttle. It definitely needs a stabilizer. So if you're going to be purchasing this motorcycle to take it on the track, I highly recommend you purchase a stabilizer for this motorcycle. But otherwise, I didn't find that it needed anything else. So that's been pretty much my road and track review for the R6. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's a phenomenal motorcycle. If you're interested in something like this, I would highly suggest that you go out to your dealership and purchase this motorcycle right away. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you enjoy watching my videos and you want to support me, head on over to petrolpowered.co where you can purchase a petrol-powered hat like this and a whole bunch of other stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Ciao for now.
We'll be right back.